Let's go ahead and do something really challenging. Now, I have several images here of mainly flash frames and an ambient shot of just one of the hardest spaces to light. Now, we've got pretty neutral walls, but we have these really weird wooden, dark wood ceilings that are just so odd. I don't know why. We've got dark cabinets back here. We've got a lot of darkness going on. But wasn't impossible to light with a single 8200, a Godox 8200. I shot this at ISO 320, 14 millimeters on a Sony 10 to 18 millimeter, and then at f7.1, and then my flash frames are all at 1/160th of a second, just so I can get that view out the window. But I'm not too concerned about the sky. I just wanted to get more detail in like the porch area and like the plants and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and run through these layers real quick. Now this one is a base layer. So what I basically did was I lit the frame, or not lit the frame. I lit the shot with a flash above the camera, pointed behind me. So it's above the camera, like directly above the camera, and then it's angled like a 45-degree angle backwards. So it's hitting the wall behind me, and it's bringing in light in the foreground. Now, I don't really plan to use this frame as a frame to light things. I'm going to be using it more as a darken layer, and we'll get into that pretty soon. But it's basically going to be for cutting down on the reflections and glare and stuff like that. So moving on. Now I've gone ahead and moved over to the side right here, and this is just basically right into this corner. So I wish I had this drawn out, but it's just right up in this corner, getting light down into here, into this foreground, getting it really nice, very directional light, kind of looking like it's coming from the window, even though the sun's like right here. It's looking pretty good. I like it. So gone ahead, moved over here to the left side of the frame. Sorry, I'm just a bit tired. Moved over to the left side of the frame, lighting the right portion. It's lighting it pretty okay. Nothing too significant here. It's mainly lighting this spot that I can see right here. But moving on. Now I've gone ahead and moved over here, and I'm basically taking the same approach for the foreground area. So what I did was basically it's like this. So let's say we have a flash here, which is our base. Move it over here to the right side. That's our side, our right side lighting the left side. Then move it over here, left side lighting the right side, and then basically you're doing a zigzag formation throughout the room. So if we look at it, we can go duh, 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 duh. Okay, pretty easy to understand, I think. It's really helpful if I had this drawn out. I wish I should have spent the time to do that, but this is kind of like an off the cuff kind of tutorial. But anyway, basically stood in the middle right here, lighting this side and getting the light over here just a little bit. It's not perfect, but I do like what it's doing with the couch. I really like that. Again, same thing that we did on this portion. We're just lighting the left side. I'm getting my hands confused. But anyway, wow, it's totally lost. Okay, basically, left side lighting the right side. You know, pretty self-explanatory right there. Again, right side lighting the left side, and left side lighting the right side. Okay. And then an ambient, which we'll use a lot of this ambient for the final composite. I really like the light that's going on here, even though it's all really contaminated. Like, look at all this green here from this this tree out here. This is not good looking, and of course the blue. But I do like the way the light is falling. So let's go ahead and select all these layers by holding down, Command A. That selects all your layers. I'm sorry, not layers. It selects all your photos in Lightroom or in the collection that you have. So what I'm going to do first is a bit weird. I'm going to change the white balance to auto. That typically will warm up my shots. Now, it doesn't work for every shot. Sometimes it likes to go a little bit cooler. But I find that if the shot is mainly flash lit, it will go a little bit warmer. So I like what it's doing here. It's just making it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Like, that's really cool. This is really warm. I like it. Well, it's more pleasing to a buyer. So let's go ahead and go down to the highlights. I'm going to go -45 in the highlights. Just bring back a little bit more detail in that sky. You can see right there. Shadows, 45 as well. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to skip the HSL, not skip the detail. I'm going to go to 0 for the sharpening. And I'm going to go 45 in the luminance on the noise reduction. And then for color, I'm going to go 90. And smoothness, I'm going to go 90 as well. 09, 90, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. And I'm going to set this to auto just in case I wanted to make that a preset. And I think that's pretty much good for that. Now all we have to do is command left click on an image and then left click on the same image to just select one image. So I need to adjust the exposure on all these because they're not perfect. So what I'm doing is I just have my mouse hovered over the exposure slider, and I'm just using my arrow keys and adjusting it like that, just so I can get a good even number. I'm really OCD with my numbers. They have to be like perfect. Can't have anything that's not perfect. Anyway, same thing with this one. I'm going to bring up the exposure. That one looked pretty good as is. This one's looking pretty good. Same thing with that one. Maybe a little bit too bright. And there we go. Okay, cool. Command A to select all of them. Right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to bring it into Photoshop, hopefully pretty quickly. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something different, because the way I way I edited this photo was very interesting. I didn't use the layers as I really should have. So I'll explain that in a minute, because since there's no, it's not like like if I was just focusing on the kitchen, I would have a clear left and a clear right. But with this, I don't really have that. So like this is lighting up the right side, getting that left side, but it's not lighting it up perfectly. So what we're going to do is make sure our layer is selected, hold down shift, select all the layers, and we're going to go to layer and arrange reverse. Perfect. And we can go ahead and turn off those layers. So we're just having the base, the side to side, and that's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and put a layer mask on it by holding down, not holding down. Why do I keep saying holding down? Anyway, by clicking on this add layer mask button, it's like the third icon from the left. Put a white layer mask on that. Go G for gradient on the keyboard. And we're going to go ahead and change this to black and white. And again, black and white. You always want to put the black portion or the starting portion on the side where you're standing. So if I went over here, it wouldn't do that, what's it called, that perfect blend. It would just kind of blend both of these as if they're like weird. I don't know if that helped any, but I'm having a difficult time trying to explain things, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Okay, B for brush. Hold down Control, Option, and left click will allow you to adjust your brush size. Going up and down allows you to change the hardness. We're gonna go ahead and check that to 0. Set that to 0. I can't talk. Anyway, zoom for Z. Sorry, let's move out. I just like to get a little bit more space on the edges, just so I can get the brush over there. Anyway, let's go ahead and paint that. And I'm at 25% flow, and I'm just painting on that layer mask. And over here as well, like that, like so. And I'm just doing little clickety clicks right there, just like so. Okay, cool. That's looking pretty good. Now, we're gonna use this not in lighten mode. We're just going to blend it in normal. And that's kind of weird for me because I typically don't do that, but I really like the way the light is kind of hitting the room just when I blend it in normally. Yeah, that looks really cool. So just like that. I don't like it on there. And I'm just swapping my foreground and background colors. So if you ever need to reset them, just click D. And if you ever need to swap them back and forth like that, just press X on the keyboard. That looks pretty good. Wow, this talking is so hard. Anyway, this side we're actually going to use in lighten mode because we're not getting enough light over here to cause a really good blend. So we're going to actually use that in lighten. Change the blend mode, lighten, and we're going to paint this area. Not that area. Yeah, paint that just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. And we're going to fix these reflections and glares and stuff like that in just a moment. Same thing with this one. We're going to put it in lighten mode. And we're going to put that there. Don't really need much on this side. Just want to brighten up that wall right there. This one, honestly, I'm kind of finding I don't really want to use this one. Let's see what it does in lighten mode. I don't like it. I really don't. I mean, I kind of like it right here in where these windows are. So I'm gonna actually go B for brush, resize it, change my foreground and background colors, and I'm just gonna brush it just a little bit. Okay, cool. Now we can get into the glares and stuff like that. Like, that's bothering me so badly, but we're gonna fix that with the ambient. Maybe, I don't know, because I don't think there's gonna be enough color there for the ambient to blend correctly. So we might have to fix that right now. So I'm just gonna pick a layer from my thumbnails. I can see that this is a right side or left side. I can't remember. No. Okay, that looks good. And we're gonna take this one and paint in. No, that's not it either. This one. No, that's enlighten. Ugh. Okay. We're gonna leave it as is. Okay. And we're gonna use this as our glare layer. There we go. Change that to darken. And I put a black layer mask over that pretty simply. Just hold down Option and click the Add Layer Mask button. Pretty simple stuff. Again, brush tool, and just paint out that glare. Paint that out. Paint that out. There we go. Now we got some more color in those cabinets, and that's going to be a better blend. Let's go ahead and zoom in right here. There we go. Actually, I don't like that. Okay, there we go. That looks better. Okay, we got a good flash base to go off of. Now we got to paint in the ambient so we can get a really good look to this. So let's go ahead and add a black layer mask. Change the blend mode to luminosity. For this example, I'm using luminosity. Sometimes I won't use luminosity because it just makes the colors weird. So I'm just brushing in a lot of the furniture. So just like so. Just like so. I don't like what it's doing with these cabinets. It's just causing too much glare. Gonna paint over that. Gonna paint like that. And I'm gonna zoom in here. Get some of these. What are these things called? Chairs. Called chairs. They're shares. Let's go ahead and get a bigger brush. Yeah, that looks good. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Gonna paint a little bit more on this. What are you called? Dining table? Yeah. Dining table. Dining room table. Paint a little bit more here and there. And just gonna look in here. I think that's looking a little bit too flashy. That looks way better. So just take a little bit of an inspection here. I don't like this. Okay, that looks way better. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. That looks really good. So now what we can do is right click, flatten image, and command save that into Lightroom. I'm gonna get this like 4 stars just so it's. I'm sorry, I forget. I'm still in a collection. Anyway, we're gonna give this some contrast because it's looking flat as ever. Let's go 60. 60. Bring up the shadows to 30. And sharpening, I'm gonna go 75. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. 75 is looking good. Anywhere between 45 and 75 is typically where I would go, depending on the ISO that I chose. So I'm at a relatively low ISO, so 75 is looking good. Now we can go to effects, negative 20. Is that too much? Negative 15 might be better. Yeah, negative 15 is looking good. So that's looking pretty snazzy. That was before, after. Just give some more life into it, you know? Let's see. Anything else that I need to do? I don't think so. It's all looking really good. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and see the before and after real quick. So this is the before, looking like Garbo, and there's the after. Such a huge difference. Holy hell. Kyle just looks so much better. That's crazy. Okay, enough drooling over my own work. Anyway, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, just leave them in the comments section below, and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. Anyway, take care, guys.